back and better than ever, or at least back.
Yes.
I'm Beef.
I'm Drew.
It's after drill. Drew, it's a Hickett tradition, apparently, forgetting to turn off the sound on your
dear.
phone. It's just like, do you want to walk in and scream you know it?
God,
Yeah.
please no.
It was, it's a post game edition of the drill, so to speak. Last night, preseason opener. Final score, really, who gives a damn?
Yeah.
Although it was eerie, the final score and how it occurred.
Sure.
Brought back some traumatic memories for Jaguar fans. As
I really did
you have
not
a
even
20
think
to
about
10
that until
fourth
it
quarter
just
lead and you lose 24-20. That's
God.
so some eagle-eyed Jaguar observers noticed that was some
Somebody just started twitching.
a little twitch like yeah. Well, and I was just talking to Mike and Tony, and they said that like the first call into the fifth quarter show after the game was like, if this continues, it's like, who's on the field?
What do you mean?
What do you mean if this
continues?
continues? It's a trend now. It's 2 straight games.
All
of
you should,
blowing
all you
20-10
should
leads.
care about is that the first team offense went right down the field.
That's the only takeaway.
It's
The only
like-
because I mean seriously, I've heard some people say, the defense was not super sharp, but I mean, do you have any thought in your mind that the defense is not
gonna be
going to be great?
fine. Defense is gonna be
the defense is
fine.
fine. The only thing you wanted to see, the only thing that mattered last night, was that the first team offense took the ball,
And went
drove
right
down the field and scored, and they
15
did just
plays.
that. 15 plays, 79 yards, efficient, both phases, throwing, running. Everything was clicking,
Man,
except for that one play where the offensive line went one way and Leonard and Blake went the other way.
Yeah.
That wasn't great, but but the offense did the job. They got down and scored. They got off the field. I thought Cody Kessler looked really efficient in his extended time
Sure.
as Blake's backup, and then I thought Tanner Lee did not look very efficient.
No.
In his brief time
He
with us.
didn't.
Tanner, I know when
5 sacks, Tanner.
when they drafted Tanner Lee, I know Jeff was very down on the Tanner Lee draft pick. Immediately said this is the worst draft pick the team's ever made.
Sure, Jeff had a field day with that today.
And well, remember they had the quote from Jerry Jones too at the Senior Bowl, like right afterwards. It was like, like Tanner Lee came onto the field and Jerry Jones was like, "Oh, here comes the pick machine." And I was like, "Oh,
Really?
Hey!" But
That's good
yeah.
stuff.
But I mean, seriously, if your biggest gripe is what the third team quarterback did,
Yeah.
then yeah, things are okay. So the Jags didn't win the game, but what we saw was what we wanted to see. The first team offense getting it done, the defense bent but didn't break necessarily, and the key thing, no injuries.
Yeah.
No injuries.
Also, a stunning revelation that came upon us on Twitter at some point yesterday. For those of you who know Gibby, we've come to the realization that he has a signature pose.
signature
And
pose.
it wasn't a one-time thing. He knows
No.
exactly what he's doing.
No, Andrew Gibson, you know him. He formerly the producer of Midday Chalk. He now produces the Frangie Show, and he's. How do I describe it? Can you demonstrate? I call it the turn and flex. Yeah, you do
And
this.
he's like pushing the pocket out
You
a
gotta
little
push
bit.
the pocket out. You gotta kind of mean mug a little bit. There it is. The
That's
turn
it.
and flex.
Fierce.
Right, you flex like the tries. You get it out there. Yeah, the turn and flex. Gibby's got the turn and flex. It's like the new blue steel. Gibby's got a pose. He's got a signature pose.
got a signature
He's like Tyra Banks. He's got a signature pose.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing. I'm not even ripping Gibby on this.
No.
I'm tickled by Gibby's
I'm
signature
upset
pose.
that I didn't think of a signature pose for myself.
Right, because
before.
now that's a good one.
Yeah.
Now if we're gonna have signature pose, we're gonna have to come up with something different.
Now what?
And hopefully better.
What do I do, Gibby?
I don't know.
Maybe
I kind of
we-
want to. What if we go like old school, like '90s hip hop? We do like this move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Gibby. What? Try to throw up a East Side
What?
or something? I don't really know what to do, man. Help
The
me
Gibby
out.
the turn and flex.
Come on, Gibby.
Oh, he's got the guns out, man.
Give me
He sends out
something.
guns out, man. That's how Gibby operates.
That's how he rolls.
Hello, Gibby. So we're in good spirits, man. Things are good in Jagland, and I know there's a segment of the fan base that's very unhappy with the decision that some of the players made to not come out of the tunnel during the national anthem. Jalen Ramsey, Telvin Smith, Leonard Fournette, T.J. Yeldon, they chose to remain in the tunnel during the national anthem. Speaking for myself, I'm of the mind that that's their right. If they want to demonstrate in such a manner, that's their choice. and it doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the football
Right.
product.
I don't. It doesn't bother me. And if anything, it's them being more respectful of not trying to shove it in your face, of doing it on the field where they're kneeling down. They just stay behind. You wouldn't have even known they stayed behind if someone hadn't tweeted it out and said.
And that's the truth. If one of the the media guys in attendance hadn't noticed that those 4 dudes were not on the sideline, if you were sitting in the stadium, you wouldn't have even known it.
No way.
You wouldn't have even noticed them coming out of the tunnel, after the anthem.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have registered. But it is what it is. It's out there. If it bothers you, that's your right.
Sure.
If you choose to not watch or not attend, that's your choice. For me,
Simply not going to keep me from watching football.
I'm going to keep watching because I love the NFL and I love the Jaguars, and I'm going to keep watching them, and that's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
Of course, now things shift. True. Next week, the Jags go up to Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. They'll have joint practices with the Vikings. I think it's awesome.
Yes.
These are highly beneficial to teams, and to go up against really one of the only other teams in the league that defensively can say they're shoulder to shoulder with you.
Yeah.
Is such a huge thing. They're very similar teams.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say Minnesota's got the advantage at quarterback slightly with Kirk Cousins over Blake.
Man, I want nothing more than to Blake Bortles go out and just shred it up this year.
It'd be great.
I'd
enjoy it.
I love as a person, it's impossible not to like Blake Bortles. I mean, he's hilarious.
Right.
But again, as a quarterback, I understand why some people are wary about him. But I mean, based off of camp and even the first drive last night, you gotta feel pretty good about what he could potentially accomplish this year.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what happens in these practices with the Vikings. Dalvin Cook is back and healthy, and by all accounts has been very good up at Minnesota Vikings camp. So it should be a great test for the team. I think they're chomping at the bit to get against different faces.
Sure.
Malik said so to a degree after the game, that they were just excited to go out and hit somebody that wasn't in their own uniform. And I think there'll be more of the same in these joint practices leading into the preseason game against Minnesota. And it's a good test. Just like last year, doing the joint practices with New England was a good test. This is another good barometer for where you are as a team, because the Vikings are another very, very, very
This
good
one will
team.
just be a little bit more publicized, I would assume.
I would think so, especially because
obviously,
both these teams feature guys who, it's crazy. They both have second-year running backs who they have huge expectations for. They both have loaded defensive lines with a ton of talent, and they both have corners who, rightfully so, believe they're the best corner in the NFL.
And really, for Jags fans and really even media members, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at what Kirk Cousins does this year kind of as a measuring stick towards Blake Bortles, and think of the what if or should have the Jags gone after and made a play for him, because they could have. They had the money, but again, we've talked about it already a little bit on here. I think it was the only move was to do what the Jags did. I think going out and spending all that money on a guy who, probably is a little bit better than Bortles, but I can't sit there and say, for the compensation you'd have to give him, there's no way it would have been worth it, because you'd have lost a big chunk of that defense here, and when you got to pay them all here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, you can't pay everybody.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go dip into the free agent quarterback pool for a big money guy, you're going to have to make sacrifices in other areas.
And let's face
it,
league,
you're going to have
you're going to have to throw a ton of money at Jalen Ramsey, and more than likely Yannick as well.
Yeah, it's going to get, things are going to get tight at some point, and some decisions are going to have to be made. But if Blake is under contract under a reasonable competitive salary for a quarterback, that gives you a little more.
Well, you saw what he said. He said he looked at what Tom Brady's done for years and says, I don't really care how much you pay me. Let's just sign this thing, go win football games. I'll take less money so the team can stay together if that's what we need to do. And you look at his contract, it's not like the Jags are paying him a ton of money.
No, not
so.
I mean, to you and me, but relative to other NFL quarterbacks, no.
I would love
it's a very competitive salary for a quarterback. And Tom Brady, you brought him up. I think he's 23rd among quarterbacks with salary, which is crazy. And now he's got this bonus structure built in to get another $5 million. And I think it was Ross Tucker tweeted out that it's a little insulting if you look at it from Brady's perspective, that you're already making probably half of what you deserve as a starting quarterback, and now you've got to earn a little extra money through incentives. It's,
Sure.
A
little insulting.
Now, I'm sure the incentives are going to be very, very attainable. It's not going to be some crazy, parameters to earn that extra money. But yeah, Brady takes a pay cut, and he takes a different structuring of his pay in order to give the Patriots flexibility to spend money elsewhere. And
by the way,
like
I don't know
the same way.
I don't know how pumped I would be if I was Brady about the weapons they've amassed around me this off season.
Have they brought in Decker? Is that official?
Yeah. They brought in.
So
Decker.
you've got Eric Decker. What more do you need?
There you go.
So we're excited, man. We're excited for week 2 of the preseason. Another round of training camp with these joint practices with the Vikings. College football season is now barreling down on us. It'll be here before you know it, and yeah, it's here, man. Football season's here. We jones for it, we long for it, and it's finally arrived, and we couldn't be happier.
Yep.
We'll keep watching. Hopefully the Jaguars remain injury free and throughout the preseason, and that we can get a hot start. I think a hot start is critical for this team with how tough their schedule is out of the chute. And they play the Giants in the opener, and if you were watching last night, granted it's week 1 of the preseason and they were playing the Browns, but first touch of his career, Saquon Barkley goes for 39 yards.
Man, I think that Giants game might really set the tone for the rest of the year, because the way the schedule's set up, you come out, say you beat the Giants, you come back, you beat the Patriots. I mean, then you got we got Indianapolis right after that. Is that who it is? Week 3. I think there's one, or the Jets or somebody. There's a win.
It might be the Jets.
It might be the Jets.
A lot of information.
Let's look up the Jag schedule right now.
It's a lot of information to process. This is on the fly.
It's on the fly.
We haven't memorized the schedule. We know it's the Giants and Patriots, and after that, it's like
really, who's even in the NFL?
Right, really. After that,
Titans. That's Titans. What it is. Titans, wow. Jets, Chiefs, Cowboys. I mean, look. This is a murderous little stretch. I mean, the Giants are going to be much improved. I think everybody knows that. They're not the team that they were last year. Obviously, the Patriots are a good football team. Couldn't beat the Titans last year. Then you got the Jets, which you should win. You lost to them last year, by the way. Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Eagles. I mean, good Lord. Chiefs, Cowboys, Texans, Eagles. Back to back to back to back.
It's a tough stretch. Now, of course, the Chiefs are breaking in essence, first year quarterback. The Cowboys.
We go 2 Arrowhead, though, right? I think the Jags go 2 Arrowhead and 2 Dallas.
So it's a tough opening slate of the season, and that's why a fast start would be so huge, because if you can get rolling on this schedule, then you're going to feel real great.
That's the difference, I think, what you need from Jacksonville, different from last year, of how they kind of, caught their stride the second half of the season. You got to come out of the gates blazing, and I think they will, because I think they're hungry and ready to set the tone. Obviously, you've heard they've talked about it all offseason. Obviously, we're going to have to see it, but I feel pretty good about where this team's mentality is at.
No, I think this. We talked about the eerie similarity last night of the 24-20 final with the 24-10 lead or 20-10 lead in the fourth quarter. Believe me, this defense has not forgotten about that.
No,
they've had that stuffed in their craw since the end of the AFC title game.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Ramsey got like a tattoo of 24-20 on him, and he looked at it every day.
He's thinking about it, and they're all thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it's. You can point fingers and say the offense could have done more, but the bottom line is you were in the fourth quarter and you had a 10-point lead with what's supposed to be arguably the best defense in the NFL, and it didn't
third and
hold up.
18, man. Oh my God!
It didn't hold up. And say what you will about some blown calls and the Miles Jack thing.
Everything that happened, you had a 10-point lead. You had a 3rd and 18. You stop them on that 3rd and 18. Honestly, I feel pretty good about where they're. I mean, because then you go milk a couple more minutes off the clock. I mean, it
changes the whole dynamic of the game.
You're in trouble if you're the Patriots.
That was the reality of it. But yeah, they're thinking about it. It's on their mind. It's front of mind.
We're thinking about it, and we don't play for the Jaguars.
Right. To get that taste out of their mouth is going to be real critical. Week 2 is they're going to come out. I mean, balls out. They're coming. They want New England's ass. They want it. They want to get it. So we'll see. But for now, we'll bid you a fond adieu, and we will look forward to joint practices with the Vikes and preseason week number 2.
This is my pose
with the Vikings.
I
like that.
Pose.
Pray hands.
Thank you.
Pray hands. Namaste from Drew. He's at peace with the world. Bye, Googans. We love you.
Oh no.
Where's the button?